Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene has become a force on Capitol Hill. She's the MAGA star. She raised eyebrows this week when she tweeted this: "We are going to drag Biden and everyone who covered up his crimes through the headlines day after day, month after month, and prove to the country the entire Democrat Party is corrupt and cannot be trusted. So no matter which candidate runs for president, if they take Biden out, everyone will know the Democrat Party is filled with liars and traitors. That, combined with Bidenomics' destructive policies, will cause Democrats to lose big." All right, well, never, ever at a loss for words. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Congresswoman, joins us now. Welcome back to American Sunrise. Always fun to have you on, Congresswoman. You were one of the first, if not perhaps the first, to absolutely, unabashedly demand the impeachment of Joe Biden. And the impeachment inquiry finally begins next week. So for anyone who wants to diminish you as just fringe or something, this is pretty big impact you had, being the first, one of the very first, to demand this. It seems like it's coming in kind of slow, but at least they ultimately took your orders. Are we on the right track here?
Yes, thank you so much for recognizing that. And I want to say that I am so glad that we have our impeachment inquiry finally going, because you're right. I was screaming this from day one. As a matter of fact, Joe Biden's first day in office, I introduced articles of impeachment because he should be impeached. But Dr. Gina, David, I want to tell you something. This impeachment inquiry is a one-time opportunity that we have to take our time and dig up all the federal unelected bureaucrats that are really the deep state. These are the ones that cover up criminals like Joe Biden. They cover up their crimes, which propelled Joe Biden to the highest office in the land. And so this is why I'm committed to an impeachment inquiry that takes a long time, and we pull each and every single one of these people, no matter what administration they served in. We pull them out because when President Trump's back in the White House, we have to hold them accountable and use our Department of Justice to prosecute them if it seems necessary.
Congresswoman, you talked about deep state actors and that this is a one-time deal, that we got to get it right. Who are, I mean, is it time to name names? I mean, who are some of these folks that congressional Republicans need to go after here? Who are you most concerned about? Who do you want to hear from specifically?
Well, I think we can look close. The first one we can talk about is David Weiss, the special prosecutor that has been appointed to investigate Hunter Biden. But we have IRS whistleblowers that have come forward to the Ways and Means Committee that have brought forth evidence that David Weiss and the people in his office and even people further back had colluded with him in a conspiracy to stop prosecutions. We have IRS whistleblowers that came forward, and they had actual criminal campaign charges they could have brought on Joe Biden during his 2020 campaign, and the entire thing was squashed. And had they have done that and investigated the Hunter Biden laptop, I'll argue, David, that Joe Biden, there is no way he would be president today, no matter how much election fraud they committed.
Mm-hmm. Congresswoman, there's a lot happening in Washington, D.C. Merrick Garland will actually testify today. But do you have high hopes that we will uncover anything, or do you think he'll just say this is an ongoing investigation and I can't comment over and over and over again?
Well, he certainly can answer the question that way, Dr. Gina, and I'm sure we will see him do that a lot. I think he's going to be hit with some tough questions from my Republican colleagues, and I look forward to watching that. But there's some other things I'm greatly concerned about here on Capitol Hill. We have Zelensky in town, and he's going around begging and pleading for the American people's hard-earned tax dollars. At the same time, we learn of the news that more money laundering is happening over in Ukraine, and the Clintons, Bill and Hillary Clinton, are going to be on the receiving end of that. And Ukraine is such a long, drawn-out war, and we know what it is. It's all for profit, and it needs to end. I'm calling for it to end, and I'm standing my ground really hard with my voting card, saying I will not vote for any funding, whether it's an appropriations bill, a CR, or a standalone bill that funds this war in Ukraine, because it's nothing but corruption, and Zelensky has Joe Biden basically on the hook for the business and the crimes that Hunter Biden and Joe Biden committed in Ukraine.
Congresswoman, let's talk about the funding for a moment. You brought it up here. Kevin McCarthy is in, as we like to say, a pickle. He's getting frustrated with the House Freedom Caucus, with some hardliners who are saying absolutely not. We're not even going to vote for a stopgap measure for 30 days. And they say, go ahead, shut the government down. What's your view on McCarthy and his role in all of this, and the House Freedom Caucus, because there's a logjam here and there's a real possibility of a shutdown? What's your view on a potential shutdown here?
Well, the way I see it is we should have stayed here in Washington in August, and we should have gotten our appropriation bills done. That's what I would have done as a business owner. That's how you get your job done before you ever get pushed up against a deadline. Now, Freedom Caucus can't complain too much because there were quite a few of their Freedom Caucus members appointed to the Appropriations Committee and appointed to these committees so that we wouldn't run into this problem. For example, Andy Harris is one of them. He's a member of Freedom Caucus, couldn't even get his own appropriation bill passed because fellow Freedom Caucus members were still fighting him about it. So this is a situation that we should be able to move forward. But when everyone's butting heads so much on appropriation bills or a potential short-term CR, we can't get anything accomplished. And I'll tell you something, David, it's dangerous because I got word this morning that over in the Senate, they are preparing a clean CR and they're going to pass it and send it over to the House. Democrats would love to vote for a clean CR, and so would moderate Republicans.
Wow.
And that's the danger. Yeah.
That is definitely the danger. Well, Congresswoman, we appreciate you. We thank you for coming on the show, and thank you for your continued fight.
Thank you so much.